We are at Bonna Avenue, the location of Foamcraft from 1957 to 2001. I think that's 44 years.
I went to college for 2 years, seminary for 2 years, and it didn't seem to work out. I don't think I had the calling that I thought I had, and that's when I was looking for work. And so I finally went to an employment agency and they sent me out here. I was a small plant manager. I had no idea what I was doing. I had a little bit of mechanical experience working on machines. Well, I finally figured out what happens, how this works, and then when the machines broke down, I fixed them with a tie on.
This place in particular, we spent weekends here cleaning when we were young. We climbed on piles of foam when we were teenagers, and for myself, it was the place where I was able to work with my dad for 25 years, and really build the business and spend time together that we probably wouldn't have had we not been, here at this spot. So that's where it started, with a couple thousand square feet, and ultimately ended up needing to have a move away from here to one big open clear building instead of 10 little tiny buildings.
Foamcraft Bonna was legendarily Bonna. It was just Bonna. Physically, it was dark and spread out. There were rooms everywhere. In some ways, it probably seemed like historic Foamcraft, but we were there really so much longer than probably what we would have desired to be, that I feel like this Indianapolis plant became like a total dream come true. Being in a new building, a better building, a different area, kind of drew some additional even people and skill sets and just excitement that we didn't have before. So it was setting us up really well for the future.
Everything changed. Computers came along. That changed things. Equipment changed. Bigger ideas came along. And then we moved from here, and things really changed after that. So, since then, it's all changed. Machinery probably, and the computers have probably changed more than anything else. It has allowed us to do things that we couldn't do before.
As the company grew in the 80s, we had a competitor in the Elkhart area. His name was Ed Valhalla. He decided to sell his company to a European outfit called Direct to Sell Foam. And they built a new building for him in Goshen. And shortly after that, Direct to Sell Foam sold their whole company, their whole domestic company, to Foamex, which of course created a conflict because they were our supplier. So they decided to sell the fabrication branch in Goshen to Foamcraft. When we went up there, the people of Goshen were like, okay, you guys are the third owners we've had in 2 years. And they really were not too excited, I don't think, because they were concerned about what was going to happen next.
Foamcraft came in, and a lot of people that worked here, we all got in little huddles, said, what's going to happen now? And Mr. V said, well, just listen to them, hear what they have to say. Might be a good thing. So it ended up being a very good thing. Couldn't have been better. Foamcraft was an awful lot like Valhalla. It was a family-owned. It was two brothers that owned it instead of fathers and sons.
So who's the first person you met from Foamcraft?
Mike and Steiny.
Officially, I was the assistant plant manager. I quickly realized I was in over my head. but had a lot of good people here. And we all kind of learned and grew up together and ran one hell of a hot plant. We cut a lot of foam. You know, this was a multi-customer plant. You know, we've always built relationships with not just the buyers, but plant floor people, office people, ownership of other companies. And I think that's really kind of how we tried to run it with the employees here. Is, you know, they know everybody. You know, we're not some guy sitting up on a throne and dictating down. It's trying to get everybody involved, which is a hard thing to do.
We've kept good people for a long time. It's just that teamwork of knowing what to do, what they're expecting, and you don't have to retrain. We had a team of people who for a long time were together, and that makes a big difference.
Elkhart was always the can-do plant. Elkhart didn't miss orders. We probably shipped 99.9% on time. Elkhart just always had the ability to get it done. So you have to be able to adapt, and I think we were very good at that.
The thing you always think of Mitchell, and she's blessed for having the most tenured workforce. You know, not so many opportunities as much as, you know, the Indianapolis or Elkhart areas. So you have a very high tenured labor force here, which was wonderful. You know, you have generations working here. The offices were quite small and quite limited. So yeah, you were elbow to elbow sometimes with the plant manager and the supervisors. You know, in the summers you'd come in and you have the bakery. There used to be a bakery, so the story was always that when it heated up in the summer, the floors would get greasy, so the people would be slipping and sliding, so you had to throw down some, you know, kitty litter or tractoritis to keep people from, you know, slipping and sliding. But and the low ceilings. I'll never forget the low ceilings in the first building. You're like, is this going to come down on us here? As time went along, there had to be another addition 13 years ago. That always worried a salesman because, you know, I want my orders to get shipped on time, and I'm like, how do we do this? How do we move equipment and still cut foam? And somehow with all these moves, especially down here, it happened without delay of the customers. There was, you know, it's all just a group effort. You know, I can go out and get all the orders in the world, but if they can't cut them and we can't get the supply of buns coming in, it has to all come together. And especially at Mitchell, where you have value-added products, where you have to have the fiber cut at the same time the angles are done with the, you know, the foam core itself. So everything has to come together. If it doesn't, you're stopping. You know, your production stops. So it's working together as a team, no doubt.
So the plan for FC5 originally was to provide a solution to some issues we were having with customers, but also to try and diversify the company. So first, we had customers asking us to ship individual units boxed directly to their customers. So rather than shipping an entire truckload of foam, we had to ship a lot of different units to a lot of different places, which required a totally different manufacturing model. And the other opportunity that we saw with that was that if we were doing this for our customers, then why can't we do it for ourselves? Which then required us to develop our own new branded product line. So all of that required a totally different manufacturing process, which the best way we knew how to do that was with a new building or a different building. And so we started with our old facility in Irvington on Bonna Avenue, and then we moved to Post Road, where we leased a building, and then we built this building in Greenfield in 2016. Yeah, I think as a company, we're really happy with what has happened with our brands. I think it is really exciting to see the sales grow, but it's also really exciting to see the reviews where customers really like our product. People really like the comfort and the functionality of our mattresses. Kids really love playing with our Foamasium product line, and so I think that's the other area. When our vision says that we want to provide quality products that benefit the community, we're actually seeing customers say that our products are satisfactory to them. And that really is even more important and more sustainable than a sales number or bottom line result.
When I was 8, my dad wrote me a letter that, I don't remember what initiated it, but I suppose you could say I was being nudged early. Should I read the letter? I should read the letter. November 8th, 1989, the brown letterhead. Dear Joey, Foamcraft Inc. is a 35-year-old company that makes foam cushioning products for companies who make furniture, beds, minivans, boats, and other products. We buy large blocks of foam called buns and cut them to smaller sizes and shapes needed by our customers. We charge our customers a fair price for providing these services. With the money we collect, we pay our employees who cut the foam and all of the expenses to run our business. I have sent you several catalogs describing the foam industry. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Very truly yours, Robert W. Elliott, President. The foundation of who we are and what we do is fairly simple, and it's profound, but it's really, well, what do we do? What does Foamcraft do? We cut foam. That's what we do. That sounds simple, but it's not. We are fabricating a product into a usable shape for a customer, and it's going to hopefully, depending on the application, really make them comfortable. That's something that